Salut my little baguettes! Welcome to L'Académie Équilibre, and this is the first episode of the Back to the Basics series where I solidify your foundation in French. So whether you're in class 7th, 8th, 9th or even 10th, this video is for you. So let's dive in. Les adjectifs démonstratifs. Now the name sounds super complicated, like we're gonna study something really tough, but in reality it's extremely easy. So we'll start with what it means. What is adjective demonstrative? Now I'll give you an easier way to remember. In English, demonstratif, you can take it as demonstrative, to demonstrate, right? Now demonstrate or show, right? That's also a word for it. So to demonstrate or to show. Now what are we doing? We're showing something or we're demonstrating something. How are we doing that? For example, let's take a pen. Okay, now if I want to show this pen, I will describe it like, this pen is blue colored, right? This pen has ink in it. This pen is super important to write your homework. Or this pen does this. This pen is better than that pen. So when I'm describing all that, you'll see the word that I used a lot was this and also that. So when I use words like this and that, I'm pointing to something, right? What am I doing? It helps me point to an object like this pen, that pen, or even if we take other objects, right? Like this book or this bottle, that suitcase, this photo, this sharpener, or for example, even people, right? This girl is better than that boy, or this man is smarter than that man. So this and that. Now what are these? These are two words. These are two words that are helping me point to an object. Object, or you can also call it a noun. For example, a living person or a non-living thing. Okay. Now another way is, for example, if I'm talking about 2-3 books, right? For example, bring me those books or bring me these books. Now these four words are nothing but your adjective demonstrative. We call together this, that, those, these. We call them adjective demonstrative. That is all, les adjectifs démonstratifs. That's just a fancy name for these four words. Now what is the difference between this and that and those and these? So when I say this, the object is in front of me. When I say that, this object is far from me. For example, this pen, right? That means the pen is near me. When I say that pen, I'm talking about some pen that is not here right now. Or if I say bring me these books, that means the books are probably in front of me. Now if I say bring me those books from the staff room, that means they're not in front of me, but I'm still pointing to them. Now what is the use of all four of these? It is to point to an object or a noun, be it a living person or be it a non-living thing. Now these four words we'll understand in French. Now before we do that, you need to know that everything in French has a gender, right? Everything has a gender in French. Be it a table, be it a pen, be it chocolate, be it a book, be it a bag, be it a phone. And people, obviously, man, woman, girl, they all have a gender that is in every language. But here, objects also like fan, table, box, everything has a gender. So according to that, the same word, that is this and that, or these or those, have forms. That they will all have the same meaning, but we will use them differently according to your gender of the object that you're pointing to. So what are these forms? Now let's do these in French. So we have 4 forms according to the gender, because we also have to consider the gender. So now we'll come to the forms. That is the options that you have when you're putting this or that before an object or a person. So first one that we have is CE. Then you have CET. Then you have CETTE. And finally you have CES. Now this is super simple once you understand which option, which of these 4 should be placed before which noun. It will be very easy and scoring for you. So first one is se. We pronounce it as se. Se, set, set and say. Now here this is used before masculine and singular nouns or objects. Then you have CET, which is also used before masculine and singular. But what is a new thing? That it has to be a vowel, which is a vowel. Then with CET, it is used for feminine singular, and it is used for feminine singular that is also a vowel. V is for voyelle. And then CES, that is say, is used for plural. Now we'll understand each one more depth. So for CE, it is only and only used for objects that are masculine and singular. Okay? Singular means only one object. For example, just one pen, one boy. That's it. So I'll take an example. If I have garçon, that is boy, right? If I have pen, that is stylo. Now I want to point to the boy, that this boy, or I want to point to the pen, that I want this pen. So I will put CE before it and CE before this. So ce garçon and ce stylo, which means this boy and this pen. And then we come to CET. Now here it's also masculine, also singular, but it has to start from a vowel. That is A, E, I, O, U or H. So it has to start from any of these, and it has to be masculine and only one object for me to put CET before it. For example, I want to say man. I'm pointing to a man. So I will say homme. For example, there's a plane in the air. Now I want to point to it. I want to say, look at this plane. So that is avion. Now it becomes homme is masculine because we're talking about one man, and it starts from H. So I can't put CE before it. That will be wrong. Why? Because this is ending from a vowel, this is starting from a vowel, and we never do that in French, which is why there's a T over here, which makes it correct. Then next we have avion, again masculine, one single plane, and it starts from A. So I write CET, CET avion. Now the third one is CET. Now here you'll see this is used for femina singular and femina singular vowel. That means it has two uses. Here masculine singular separate, and masculine singular vowel we had a separate adjective démonstratif. But here for both of them we use the same one. So that means we'll be writing like this. For example, I'm saying this dress, that is robe. Robe is your dress. Or if I'm talking about a woman, so cette femme. Or if I'm talking about, let's say, this clock, cette horloge. So robe ends with E, single dress, it makes cette. Then femme, one woman, single woman, we're going to write cette. Then last one, horloge. Again, this is H is considered a vowel in French, ends with E, we'll still use cette. That means this one has two functions. You can use it in two situations. But in muscular, you have two options. That is, if it's not a vowel, then CE. If it's a vowel, then CET. That means you have two different adjectives démonstratifs in the masculine singular one. It can either be this or it can be this. For feminine singulier, set one, you have one adjective démonstratif for both vowel and feminine singulier. Fine. Now we come to our last one, that is CES, that is used for pluriel. Now here the plural is used for both masculine plural and feminine plural. That means when you see a plural object, a plural noun, you don't have to see its gender. Why? Because the gender does not matter. Whether it's masculine, whether it's feminine, or even if it starts from a vowel, that is voyelle, a plural vowel of course, it is still considered plural. That means even if it starts from a vowel, even if it's masculine, even if it's feminine, we don't have to see that as long as it's plural. Now how do I know it's pluriel? One way is that it ends from, your object or your noun ends from S or X. X is also considered plural in French. So for example, I want to say these books. So I'll take livre. Or I want to point to these animals. So animals in French is animaux. Now we'll also take examples from each one of these here that we have. So I'll take stylo from here and I'll write pens. So stylo. I'll take from here. I'll make it with an S, which is men. And I'll take khob from here, that is dresses, and then add an S. So I want to say these books. It will be ends with S. I don't have to see whether it's masculine or feminine because it doesn't make a difference. So say livre. Then X, that is animals, we're talking about animaux. Again, even though it starts from a vowel, it doesn't matter. Says animaux. Then say stylo. Same way. Say zoom. Say khob. As long as it ends from S and it's plural, I will write CES. This was your adjectif démonstratif in French. Now, what do each one of these mean? We studied 4 forms, right? Now, what does each one of them mean? Now, these are my adjectifs démonstratifs that I have in French. There are 4 of them. Now, CE is used for masculine singulier objects. Like here we saw them, garçon, stylo, a boy, a pen. And then we have CET. This is also masculine singulier. I'm writing MS, but it has to be vowel. It has to be a masculine singular vowel, only then will you use it. Then you have CETTE, that is CET. Now this has 2 uses. One is it can be used for feminine singular and it can also be used for feminine singular vowel. Okay, for masculine we had 2, that is masculine singular we use CE, for masculine singular vowel we use CET, but here both are done with the same adjective démonstratif, that is CET. Then final we have say, that is for pluriel. As long as the noun is plural or the object is plural, it doesn't matter, it can be masculine, it can be feminine, it can be vowel. Okay, but it has to be more than one object. Now, what are the meaning of them? CE means this or that. Set also means this or that. Now, set also means this or that. Now, if you'll see, French uses the same word for this and that. That means in English we have 2 separate words, right? For this we have one word, for that we have one word to point at them, right? Something that is close is this, something that is far is that. But in French we don't have 2 separate words for them. As long as you want to point at something, you will use these 4. So CE can either mean this, it can also mean that. Same way, CET can also mean this or that, and the third one, set, can also mean this or that. So we only have one word for both of them. Now CES, because we're talking about more than one object, so it means these or those. And this was our adjectif démonstratif. I hope it is clear to you. If you want to avoid silly mistakes that cost you marks in l'adjectif démonstratif and other grammar topics, I would highly recommend watching my video on the French gender exceptions next. The link is in the description box. Thank you.